Wow, so much to talk about. I don't know where to start. Seriously, you've got like maybe four or five different really important topics. I'm just gonna sort of just ramble. It's why this channel is called Mouth of the Ape anyway. It's literally an ape rambling on and have no plan. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but what is fresh in my mind right now is two clients of mine who I've been working with. One, just today, this person was going through real difficult times. Just literally signed up again because I've already coached this person before once, and they signed up again a few days ago. Just sort of like had stumbled again, having real difficult times again. And over the last 2 days, we managed to turn things around significantly. This person's mindset really transformed a lot. Or not so much transformed a lot, he just came back onto the right path. That's all. And had genuinely refocused and made this mental decision to move on away from his ex, and just an hour ago get an email or a message from him saying that his ex, who had not contacted, and just I'm not going to go into the story too much, but really like given him a hard time, finally contacts him, calls him. So it's just, I talk about this. I've talked about this before so much. I've witnessed this so much in people that I've been coaching, and prior to coaching, just stories that I read online from a couple of years ago, and it happened to me as well. How when you are able to bring your focus onto your goals, onto your journey, onto things that energize you, that uplift you, that strengthen you. When you're able to bring your focus onto yourself, it's like putting blinders on. It's difficult because we have gotten into the habit, we have become conditioned for years and years and years, maybe decades, to be drawn and distracted by certain things, you know? So putting blinders on now is difficult when you're going from that one way of living to another way of living, but it becomes a habit, okay, as you are able to do it day after day. And the results of doing this are amazing. And it's just amazing to me that these teachings are not as widespread and not being practiced as much. Maybe these teachings are new teachings, you know, and we're going to start seeing them being used more because they make huge differences. The results are there. They are so clear. And from my perspective, what I share with people, what I apply in my own life, is basically a two-pronged approach. Two things that I focus on most of all. The first thing that I focus on is focus your attention, your power on your goals, on your journey. In other words, focus your attention on things that serve you, that strengthen you, that make you more powerful, that uplift you, that energize you. I repeat this over and over every day to people, and it's actually great for me as well. And on a very quick side note, if you guys out there going through difficult times can start helping others, it's such an awesome strengthening technique to help and share good things, because your mind is constantly in being reminded of these things. Every day I speak to black belts in jiu-jitsu or mixed martial arts pro fighters who teach, and some of them teach from an early age. Some of these guys who are famous fighters, who are well-known fighters, they're teaching because by teaching, you're going over and over the techniques that help you. You keep them fresh in your mind, and you're just conditioning your mind to learn them and make them habits. So for me, teaching and coaching and talking about all this stuff strengthens me as well. It's empowering for me in such a huge way, and I recommend everyone out there to find some sort of outlet where you can share your knowledge, teach all of these things or anything else that helps you. And by doing so, you're going to reinforce your own practice. So just going back to the two prongs, the two main things that everyone out there needs to focus on. This applies to divorce, to breakups, to anything. It applies to, like, if your life is fine and you just want to grow stronger and more powerful. This applies to almost any situation you can think of: confidence, depression, loneliness, low self-esteem, how to be more successful in business, how to be more attractive, how to be, whatever. These two approaches I'm finding, through all my coaching, through all my studying, through all my learning, through all my life experiencing, these two things are just rising to the top. They're being filtered. They're being distilled. Nothing seems to be damaging these two powerful techniques and methods. The first one is focus your attention on things that serve you, that uplift you, that empower you, that strengthen you, that energize you. These can be people, they can be things, they can be food, it can be clothing, it can be movies, it can be music. Above all, it's thoughts. Focus your attention on thoughts that serve you, that energize you, that empower you, that uplift you, rather than the thoughts that are bringing you down. Just heard from someone today whose ex, they broke up, but on the way out, she did like a drive-by. She just sprayed him with as much negative stuff as possible, and this guy has been struggling for a while with just these negative thoughts, left from his ex. And I was in the same shoes too, and it's really amazing that when we don't know how to deal with this, how it can ruin your entire life if you never learn how to deal with this. Why? Because when whatever your attention is on becomes powerful, more and more powerful. What your attention is on grows more powerful. So if someone tells you something like, you are fat and ugly and you have no self and whatever, you have no passion in life. Okay, boom, those are seeds that get planted in your head. If you start to think about them, put your attention onto those thoughts, you make those thoughts stronger. Okay, and then as you think and think and think and think, because you don't know how to deal with all this, you don't know the correct methods, you make those thoughts so strong. And if you've watched my videos before, thoughts can become beliefs. Beliefs become instinctual. So someone who is confident can, if someone tells him or her that you are, not confident, have low self-esteem, you suck, blah, whatever, it can even become instinctual to the point where this person who previously would just walk into a supermarket and just be fine, now goes in and is just overthinking things and, has low self-esteem and, adrenaline, so that it becomes instinctual, it comes into your body. So we've got to catch these thoughts while they're thoughts. You can still transform them when they become instinctual. You can still transform them when they're beliefs, but they're easiest to deal with when they're just thoughts. They are vulnerable. You can smash them. So going back to the two prongs, the first prong approach And it all comes down to with your attention, both these two-pronged approach, okay? This double-pronged approach comes down to your awareness, your attention. The first technique, again, is to put your attention onto the things that, focus your attention onto the things that strengthen you. Thoughts, food, people, clothes, movies, music, activities, your environment, your house where you live, the city you live in, your job, anything you can think of. Make sure that you are filtering. You're the filter. You filter what is allowed into your existence. And focus the filter on the things that strengthen you, that make you better, okay? That help you, that uplift you, that energize you. Your filter is your awareness. That's your filter. Your filter is your awareness. You're going to be aware of everything that's coming in. Then you get to filter. Then you get to pick. You are allowed into my life. You are not allowed into my life. This beautiful shell is allowed into my life. This ugly whatever, garbage on the floor is not allowed in my life. Okay? You become picky, filter your life. Just simply doing this one technique is going to transform your life very quickly, very rapidly. The second approach is how to deal with the negative thoughts that are already in your head. Okay? So approach number one, focus your attention onto things that are going to enrich you and strengthen you. And technique number two is to smash the negative thinking that's already in there. And how do we do that? With counterbalances, positive counterbalancing. I've mentioned this a lot in my videos. One video in particular I talk about it is called Important Tips for Difficult Breakups, part 1, I believe. And I talk about counterbalancing. I'm going to talk about it again today. Counterbalancing, for those of you who know me well, you'll know this, but it doesn't hurt to go over this again. Counterbalancing is when there's a negative thought in your head, like someone says you're ugly or you suck, okay, and you start to think about that, okay? It could be thoughts that you're just coming up with yourself, like my ex's new boyfriend is better than me, okay? You've got to write down these thoughts. First of all, identify them. You need awareness to identify them. I'm finding with a lot of my coaching clients that, and a lot of people, and myself included, before I knew about all this stuff, that it's very difficult to identify what a negative thought is. It's difficult to catch them. A negative thought is negative self-talk. It's thoughts that bring us down, thoughts that don't help us. It could be like, I'm never going to be successful, or anything that, is just not helping strengthen you, not uplifting you, not energizing you. It could be that, I'm never going to meet someone awesome, I'm never going to be in an amazing relationship, I'm never going to find the love of my life, I'm never going to be thin and healthy, I'm never going to be attractive. Okay, these are all negative thoughts, okay? So first thing you got to do is be able to catch them. That's the important thing. Once you are able to catch one, you've got to write it down, do it, it's worth it. It's worth it because these are the things that are hurting your life. These are like the mental anchors that you'd be dragging and going to be holding you down in life. And it's just so worth smashing them. And they're easy to smash. Once you find one, write it down, and then write down 3 counter arguments to this thought that are positive, that are uplifting and energizing, okay? You've got to believe them, obviously. And the point of this practice is that you're training yourself to see the positive in the negative, okay? So that when these thoughts come up again, you're going to have journal these thoughts in the past several times. Don't just journal it once, one day, and then do 3 counterbalances and that's it. No. If in a couple of weeks the same thought comes up again, write it down again. Come up with 3 more counterbalances. It could be the same 3 counterbalances if you're happy with them, fine. But you might come up with more. And the point of this is that you're training, you're teaching yourself how to stand up and smash these thoughts. Okay, you're training yourself to become your own life coach. You're training yourself to be your own protector. You're training yourself to be your own defender. You're training yourself to stand up for yourself and to live. Remember, everyone, darkness is overrated. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy and time. Just the other day, I was talking to someone, and it's the old way. It's the old way of living, and I met someone who's so depressed and so negative, and, I naturally try to, offer a different perspective, but this person just is dwelling in depression. Dwelling. Do you know what that means? It means that they are loving it. It means that they are enjoying it. I've been there. I know. You can't fool me. Okay? Depression, all this, dwelling in this, it's not for me. I'm not going to surround myself around that because I've been there and I know what a waste of time it is and how much it can not only drain yourself but drain people around you. It's in a way extremely selfish. It's just a very lazy, way of, and some people need to go through it, I certainly, I went through it for a very long time, for many years, and finally just, was given the tools, to work, to realize that, yes, it is going to feel impossible if you don't know how to move forward. But once you have the tools, everything's easier. Like when you're trying to do something, you don't have the right tool, it's so difficult. You're like, ugh, fuck this shit. But as soon as someone gives you a tool, it's just like, oh my God, that was easy. It's the same with this. That darkness is overrated. It's much more. It's a much more fulfilling, fun, exciting, awesome experience in life to just stand up, get on with it, and do your best. And you can reshape the way you look at things. You can reshape your life. You can, so. I don't waste too much of my time with people who are wallowing, in depression. I don't really, it's not something that I have a lot of respect for, okay? Especially when you do try to help. And, there's still this, what they want is attention. At the end of the day, they want attention. And remember, what we're training here is how to protect, how to build. What is attention? Attention's power. They want your power. These are energy vampires. Attention whores. Okay? Incapable of providing themselves with the attention and the outlook that they need. Okay? So back to the fighters out there, back to the people who are standing up, who are on the path of continuous improvement, or who are joining the path of continuous improvement. The 2 things to focus on, the 2 most important things, overridden by awareness. Awareness is the ultimate master of all. But these 2, your right and your left, these 2 are the most important things that I'm seeing, which is focus on the things that uplift, energize, and strengthen. And with this one, all existing negative thoughts, process them. Learn how to process them, okay? And you process them by, right, the journaling is an excellent technique. But affirmations are an awesome technique. Counterbalancing, so super powerful, and you're seeing this more and more now with athletes, with world champions, with successful entrepreneurs, with successful business people, with all types of people who are out there. Look, as I've said in so many of my videos, the greatest champions, the most successful people, the people out there who, you think, wow, look at these people, they have been through the most difficult shit on earth. It's usually the people that go through the most difficult stuff that realize, shit, I don't want to be here. Okay? It's when you get to the bottom of the barrel, when you hit rock bottom and you realize, I need to wake up. I need to, So, yeah, I hope this video is clear. Like I said, I came into this video with didn't really know what I was going to talk about, but these two things seem to be very powerful, and they are working. That's what it is they're working. I'm finding that these two techniques, these two methods, these two principles are working. They work for me. They're working for a lot of my clients. I want to share all of this stuff. I don't feel like there needs to be a secret. Have you seen these videos where you've got to wait until the end of the video for the 3 secret steps? And then you get to the end of the video and they still don't tell you what it is, and you've got to click on a website. Oh my goodness. So, step number 1, focus your attention on the things that energize, uplift, and strengthen you. Step number 2, learn how to process and smash negative self-talk, negative thinking, okay? So for those of you out there who are, smart and aware and wise and can see and are joining the dots here, you're going to see that almost everything comes down to thinking. Or even better, almost everything comes down to what your attention is on. And I want to make a video, I might make it right now. I don't know, maybe not. I might make it another day, but I'm going to talk about a little bit of it right now. This is my main problem with, extreme spirituality. Like, my main disagreement with Eckhart Tolle, with Mooji, with a lot of these extremely spiritual people who train people and practice, being present, be in the now. Be in this moment. I'm not a huge believer in doing that in an extreme way. I think that it's okay to have a mix of being present, but also having because it's all about your attention. Is your attention and awareness on the present moment? Is it on thoughts? What these guys are teaching, it works to a certain degree, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Because what they're teaching is to bypass the ego. All right? And when you bypass the ego, yeah, for sure, you're bypassing something that can be faulty. Our egos, it's your personality, basically. It's, when you feel happy or sad or depressed or lonely or angry, all these feelings you're having are coming from your ego. Okay, your ego is like this interface that you have with the world, and it's there to help us. But because our world is so crazy and things are, our environment is changing so rapidly, technology and just, we're moving around the world. We're not, we're designed like to live in a village and be in that village for, our entire life. Maybe spend half of the year in one place and half of the year in another place, like a nomad, like nomadic tribes. But we're supposed to, our ego is designed for a much simpler way of life, but now we're just being bombarded with change, constant change. So maintaining a healthy personality, a healthy ego, is what I believe in more, which is more like condition your ego. Because look, if you have this ego that's making you angry and irritated with people and depressed and sad, and then you're going to get like Eckhart Tolle or Muji of the world who are going to teach you how to like bypass the ego and just be aware of, you know, be more in the now, be in present moment. That's fine. You're going to feel great if you're able to do it. It's not hard to do that. That's meditating, coming in to this present moment. It's going to be fine, but you're not really addressing the problems that you have with the ego. You're not reconditioning the mind. Okay? The mind can be reconditioned and shaped by just saying, I'm going to live in the present moment forever and ever. You're just like throwing it away and saying, fuck this, it doesn't work. I'm going to just bypass it as much as I can. Bypassing it is fine. It's great. It's where we, when we meditate, when we bypass it, we can get tremendously energized and we can see so much. It's, we can disidentify, disassociate, not be in the grip of these emotions like anger and loneliness. Those things don't hurt us anymore. They become distant. We will learn to observe them. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. Really it is. But I'm not seeing the thing is that I'm not seeing the training, the reconditioning that needs to happen to the ego. Because you see, when you're in this, when you are able to be present, be in the now, be in a meditative state, disassociate, distance yourself from the ego, from thoughts, from emotions. When you're able to do that, that's great. But what happens when you come back? You're going to be faced with the same problems, the same issues, the same mind, the same way of thinking. Okay, the same thought processes, the same beliefs, the same instinctual responses. Okay, so I'm a believer that we should be reconditioning our mind. Our mind is like our bodies. You can reshape it. You can recondition it. Anyone who doubts this, it's just a matter of time until you realize, because it's like anything. Like you smell something, it reminds you of something else. Our thoughts and our memories are in little groups. They're not just ones and twos. The way our memory works is like a group of things: a smell, a feeling, and a thought, and they're all stored in our mind. And when you think of your ex, it can be a painful thing, because the thought of your ex is now associated with all those emotions, the breakup, the hurt, all of that kind of stuff. So sometimes thinking of something like that brings back not just one thought, but it brings back a collection, a group of memories. And memories can be feelings, can be smells, can be tastes. You can taste something and then boom, you're transported back to a moment in time. Animals are conditioned. You do something good, you get a reward. You do something bad, you get pain. That's what's going on with us. Okay? We are conditioning ourselves. When we get heartbroken, we're conditioning ourselves with pain to learn. To learn so that we can do better next time. Or avoid certain situations, or go towards different situations. The opposite is correct too. When we feel something good, when we do something, then we'll remember, okay, yeah, that's good. So our mind is just like clay that can be conditioned and shaped. And we have the power. There are techniques now. There are powerful techniques that are working very well. And you know what? I am confident that in the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be even better techniques that are going to come along. Okay? This whole being the present now, like I said, I view it as it's bypassing the ego, bypassing your mind. Okay? We're part of your mind. Okay? And you're not really dealing with it. You're not really correcting the problem. Okay? If I'm a fighter, jiu-jitsu fighter, and I'm doing something incorrectly, maybe my arm bars aren't so good or my takedowns aren't so good. If I just say, well, I'm just going to ignore all that and I'm going to focus on other things, it's not going to be great because I'm going to need to improve my arm bars. I'm going to need to learn to take, it's the stuff that I'm going to need. We're going to need our egos. We're going to need our personalities. We're going to need all of our mind. Not just the awareness part of our mind where we can just sit like a Buddhist monk in awareness, in a state of just being and observing. It's wonderful, yes, it's energizing. There's a lot of power and strength and wisdom to be gained from those states, but we're much more complex and whole beings. And we have the ability to recondition our minds. Okay, so remember, thoughts become beliefs, become instinctual responses. So use your awareness to guide your attention onto thoughts, people, food, clothes, movies, music, activities, anything that energizes, strengthens, uplifts you. Focus on those things. And whenever negative feelings pop up, feelings, remember, are triggered by thoughts. So whenever negative thoughts pop up, awareness, use your awareness, train your awareness to catch them, write them down. Then, once you've written them down, they're going to be like pissing their pants because you've caught them. It's like Ghostbusters when they catch the ghosts. You've caught and trapped a negative thought. That negative thought is screwed. You're going to fuck it up. You're going to be smashing it to bits. How are you going to smash it? By training your mind to smash those negative thoughts. By coming up with 3 positive thoughts. Alright guys, that's my video. I hope there's something in here that helps. I'm off to grab something to eat now, and yeah, I'll make more videos soon. And yeah, I'm having really, touch wood, knock on wood, I'm having good sessions with people, learning a lot, sharing a lot, and just seeing certain things like that I've shared in this video that are really working and seem to be quite powerful. So do them, they work. Alright, and if you have any questions or comments or whatever, as always, leave them down below and I will talk to you guys soon. Alright, bye for now.